Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Halloween month continues. What we're going to do is a button style canvas. So I'm going to go skull because I've got a tub full of multicoloured buttons, so that's going to take a lot of rifling to get colours out for things like a pumpkin, witch, moon, bat, so on and so forth. I happen to have, that hasn't been jumbled in that tub just yet, a separate tub of white buttons. So I'm going to do a button skull, which I think will be pretty cool. So what I'm going to do first is black up my canvas. I've got a load of black ready and a bit of pearl dark purple, just to add a little something in there. So that's what we're going to do. Get this all painted up first, let that dry, probably give it 2 coats because it's canvas, so usually the first coat you'll get a little bit from the texture of the canvas, a little bit of white pop up here or there, but we want this to be as black / pearl purple as possible. And then we're going to glue the white buttons on in the shape of a skull. I think that'll be pretty cool. We may or may not glue a little button moon up there, we'll see, because picking out a handful of yellow ain't going to be as much of a chore as picking out all the different colours and separating them. So keeping it nice and easy, nice and straightforward. Let's crack on with the painting. I don't normally go over the edges, but I will with this one. So the only white thing on the canvas is going to be the buttons. Give it a second coat, and then when that is done, we're going to get the buttons out. And then just, and the hot glue gun or Yoo-hoo glue, up to you. They both work just as well in this particular job. Probably Yoo-hoo glue is cheaper, and it does tend to melt plastic, which will give you a stronger bond. So we might go Yoo-hoo. Slight change of title. It was a tub of white beads that I had and not white buttons. So this is going to be a bead skull. It's going to be built exactly the same way, but instead of buttons it's going to be beads. So I'm not going to, because these are all different sizes, I'm not going to place these exactly where I want them. I'm just going to start gluing them down. They go where they go. And it shapes how it shapes. I've got a rough idea in mind, obviously, the shape of a skull and how I'm going to want this. So I think it's going to be easy to start with a big one in the middle and use that as the centre of the top of the head. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm undecided what to do as far as the eyes go. I don't know whether to get some black beads or buttons and fill them in, or leave them so there's a bit of depth there like you would have sockets for eyes. So I think I'm going to at least do that. Then I had another thought, leave them as pits, but maybe put a little pool of resin in there just so they shine but still keep that depth. We'll see when we get to that point. So I will stop talking unless something comes up and start gluing. Now I'm not going to be too fussed about this being symmetrical. I might just have a bit of symmetry in there to guide where I'm going first, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we may or may not flash forward, we might speed forward. Depends how long this takes. This isn't going to be a quick task on my end. Okay, we're done. Check that out. Let me just dull the light a touch because it's, oops, so much white going on. There we go. Hopefully that's not so glaring. How cool is that? Our beaded skull. That's really effective. I was umming and ahhing for a while whether or not to do anything in the sockets, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't think anything needs to be done to it. I was also thinking about putting something down here, but again, I like the fact that it's higher up. It's leering down. Let me get my phone so we can get up close and personal. Yeah, check him out. And I decided not to go, wibbly hand, too busy with the little ones. Just put a little spill in, but I kept it even. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 1, 1. But yeah, the rest I did in the end go for symmetry. I had enough beads and enough of a selection to do that. Or pretty much symmetry anyway. You can, there's a couple of places where I elected not to go symmetrical. Symmetrical in shape, but not in rotation. But I still love it. I'm so pleased with how that came out. And these beads were well handy because they're just like teeth. So yeah, there's not really much to get up close with, so we'll just keep it there. How cool. So that's a nice, quick, easy project. And although I've done this with Halloween in mind, this could be up at any point of the year. It's really cool looking. It carries its own. It's fun to do. It was therapeutic as well because you could just relax. I got carried away because I was going to record the whole thing and then just speed it up. Then I had to pause to do dinner and, you know, real life things. So while the oven was warming up, it's like, well, I'll just come and glue a couple more. And then when the food was in the oven, I'll just come and glue a couple more. So it's very relaxing. If you're looking for something like a creative, losing my voice, a creative release and to be relaxed while you're doing it, this is a good idea. And it doesn't have to be a skull, obviously. If you've got a load of old beads kicking around, or buttons, this was going to be buttons until I realised when I picked the tub up that it weren't a tub of buttons, it was a tub of beads. I don't know why I thought it was a tub of buttons, but hey ho. It'll work just as well. And yet, any image you like, flower, animal, random object, just a rainbow of colour. I really recommend giving it a go. These are cheap canvases. This is still from like, well, not from the same pack of 3, but 3 canvases, like a mat, well, one about the size of this mat, and then half and half pretty much. Like $4.99, I think. And that's really good. So you don't need to go all out, because I know there are some canvases that you can buy that are literally like £10 a piece for a little bit bigger than this. So you don't need to go expensive. Beads and buttons, charity shops, craft stalls, sometimes you can pick up random bags there. eBay's my go-to, to be honest. You can find loads of bags of buttons at a really decent price, and you can go for mixed ones, selective colours, whatever floats your boat. Like, I got a colossal bag that I did on a really early short. I think it was like a, was it a kilogram? It was a kilogram bag of buttons, which is a lot of buttons, by the way, for like £9. Now, for the amount of buttons I was getting for that £9, that was a really good deal. So £9 sounds like a lot off the bat, but I have now got a pretty much never-ending supply of buttons. I did go and buy another bag because I kind of got button carried away. I love the sound and the feel. And it's the lucky dip of it all as well. You don't know what you're going to get. But you can get them a lot cheaper. You can get little diddy bags for like £1. I'd say perhaps like, dependent on this size canvas and depending on what you do, £2 to £5 worth of buttons or beads. And you can relax, unwind. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I do hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you some ideas, maybe some encouragement to give something like this a go yourself. It doesn't have to be an image at the end. It can just be an array of colours. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.